Hi guys, welcome back to Battle with Ola. This is Mujela Olu and I'm so thrilled to be here once again. Today, we want to talk about a very important topic. We want to talk about how to prepare for trial. How to prepare for trial. We talked about so many things on this channel. We've talked about, how to wear a wig and gown, how to announce your appearance, how to move emotion. We've talked about pre-trial conference. We've talked about so many things. But today we want to talk about how to prepare, the steps that you need to take leading up to a trial when a trial date has been set for a particular case. That's what we want to talk about. And it could be that it's you're opening the trial or you're continuing the trial from when your colleague stopped. And this is particularly, for lawyers. So it could be that you're a new week, or it could be that you're an older week, or it could be that you're opening the trial, or it could be that you're continuing from where your colleague has stopped. This will help greatly, and this is not just for lawyers. Laymen and law students also will grab a thing or two from this video. So how do you prepare for trial? The first thing I want to talk about is read up your file. I've talked about this in a handful of videos and I'm talking about it again. Please read your file. Very important. Don't be that lawyer that goes to court and then in court you're looking for one paper, you're looking for one note, you're looking for one piece of evidence or document that you want to tender. Read your file. When you read your file, you're able to confirm your data, your information, your facts. You're able to confirm your armory, so that you know what you're going to court with. If you're going to the battlefield, you would confirm, your gun, the number of bullets, and all the other ammunitions that you need. Same way if you're going to court, please read your file. Very important. Read the endorsements. Read the endorsement if it's not a new file, so that you know what is going on in court, and what is going to go on when you get to court. If it's a trial that's already ongoing, you can go to court ahead of time and ask to see the court file from the registrars. There's a judge that always tells us that the court file is a public document, not a private document, so it will allow you to have access to it as is proper. So very important. You can walk up to the registrars if you cannot find your file, or you don't know what is going on in the file, or you don't know what is going on in the file, or it's not been properly endorsed, and then read up what the court asks, because of course the court's record is the final record, or the because of course the court's record is the final record anyway. So please read your file. Read through every leaf in your file, so that you know where what is, so that you know when to bring that out when you need it in court. Read your file. Very important. The second thing I want to talk about is piece your evidence together. Don't be the kind of lawyer that's looking for that evidence or this piece of document in court. It's never a good look. And of course, don't be the lawyer that is presenting the wrong document. For instance, if you should know whether you're tendering the original copies of any document, whether you're tendering the photocopy, and you know that if it's a photocopy of some types of document, it has to be certified. We've done videos on all of this. Please watch them on the channel. It has to be certified, and certified by the right authority. So you need to ascertain that, certify the ones that needs to be certified, get your house in order. Very important. Piece your evidence together. That's the second point. Please arrange your documents in the order that you're going to file them, and be sure that they are in the proper form, so that the other counsel will not just come and have a field day from objecting to the tendering of your documents. Very important. And of course, I'm referring to both oral evidence and documentary evidence. So you should know which witness is going to say what. Which witness are you going to tender what document through, and which ones are you tendering through the bar? All those things. Very important. Please piece your documents, piece your evidence together. Very important. The third thing that I want to talk about today is assemble your witnesses. Your witnesses are people who are coming to court to testify on your behalf, in furtherance of your case. It's important. As soon as you get the file, look at it. Do you have a list of witnesses? Are there witnesses that you're going to call? Do you need just one key witness, or do you need 3, 4, 5 witnesses, or do you need one star witness and some other supporting witnesses? And then get their phone numbers, call them up. There are witnesses that require you to write a letter to them, or to their working place, or whichever authority is supervising them before they can come to court. Write these letters ahead of time, and submit it at the appropriate quarters, so that these witnesses will be released to you. Call your witnesses so that you will know if a witness is not feeling fine, will not be able to make court, and so that you can make the necessary arrangements. If a witness is coming from a far place, you need to ascertain so that you can get them nearer to court, ahead of time. Very important. Please assemble your witnesses ahead of time. And that would also lead us to the fourth, step, which is prepping your witness. Very important. Prepping your witness is different from when you are eliciting witness story or with information for you to prepare your pleadings. We've talked about pleadings as well in the channel. Please watch that video. Prepping your witness is a special session that you must have with your witness ahead of court. It could be on the morning of the trial date, but if it's on that day, make sure that that's not the first prep session you're having. It's important to prep your witness ahead of time. So when you prep your witness, you're able to talk to them, interact with them, you're able to guide them to, put their story together. What story are you telling to the court? How do you answer my questions when I put them to you? What kind of questions am I going to put to you, and how do I expect you to answer them? What kind of answers do I expect you to give? So that you guide. If it's a witness that's verbose, you know how to curtail that already during the prep time. And if it's a witness that is terse in speech, you are able to also teach them, to give the right and sufficient details. Very important. Please prep your witness ahead of your trial. Also important, so that you'll be able to guide them as to the likely questions that the other party would ask them and how they are to respond, so that you'll be able to prepare them that, okay, this is the kind of lawyer that's on the other side most likely, and this is the kind of judge that we have. Very important for you to answer your questions in this way, to have this kind of countenance. There are people that prep their witness, lawyers that prep their witnesses even on countenance, on expression in court. If you're trying to come off as, having been cheated and oppressed by the other party, there's a way your witness would look, to show the court that, oh, they have really cheated this person and we should give them justice. All those things go into how they are factored into how decisions are made in court, whether we like it or not. So very important for you to prep your witness. And the final step for you to prepare for a trial or a trial day is to reconfirm your information. When I say information, I'm talking about the trial date itself. Reconfirm it. If they've given you the 29th of June, please reconfirm before that date. If that matter is still going on the 29th of June. There are some courts that will text you like a day to the trial date to remind you. So if it's such a court and you've not gotten the text the day before, you should know that something is going on. Maybe the court is not going to sit. Very important. You should get the registrar's number if possible. Reconfirm the court's room, very important. There are some situations whereby maybe they're renovating the court and they moved the courtroom to another room, so that you don't go to court and you're sitting and waiting endlessly, in the wrong courtroom. Or if it's a long date and then you now get there and maybe they switch the judges or some other changes have occurred. Very important to reconfirm your information. The courtroom, the court date, the judge, your other counsel. If possible, you can even call the other counsel the day before or that day. I do that most times, for my own personal cases, So you call them to know if they are around, available, and if they remember that it is so date. I was in a matter and I'd gone out of jurisdiction, so I was sending my colleague and and I had to call the other counsel. The day, the last court date, when we called him, he said he thought it was 2 days later, so he couldn't come. So, and we always call him like that. So I had to call him again this last time, and then he also still said that he thought it was like some days later. I said, no, don't you get court text messages? He said he doesn't get them. That why am I the only one getting it? I said, maybe because we are the claimant, we are the one that filed the matter. So it is on this social date. We'll be expecting, we expect. You said yes, it will be there, and it was there. So all these things, very important. They make even though they are not necessarily required, by law and by practice, they make your work more efficient and they give you a good look and they produce results. So very important. We've talked about how you should read your file, how you should piece your evidence together, how you should call your witnesses, assemble your witnesses, then how you should prep your witnesses, and how you should reconfirm all information about and surrounding the trial day and the case itself. So good luck as you practice these things. I will see you in my very next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Toodles.